Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. To those who have subscribed, thank you very much. I truly appreciate your support. And to my new viewers, thank you for tuning in. Please go on and subscribe and like this channel. On the 4th of September, we are going to be hosting a webinar via Zoom where we will be discussing and educating law graduates or lawyers who want to change career paths on how they can open their own legal consultancy firms, seeing that unemployment is quite high these days. One of the options we have as people is to actually open our own businesses, and for lawyers it could be, and it definitely is much easier for one to open a legal consultancy firm. So if you aspire to become your own boss and run your own legal consultancy firm, please follow the link below and book your own ticket and save your spot for the 4th of September 2021. Anyway, today's episode I'm going to be talking about the things I wish I had known before I became a lawyer, both the good and the bad. But first of all, I want to talk about the bad because my journey hasn't been easy and I always want to finish off with the good news. So the first thing that I wish I had known is the very fact that I wish I had known that applying for articles wasn't an easy peasy. I should have applied earlier in university, probably in my first year, because even though I applied in my final year, it didn't really help me much. Most of these big law firms actually take candidates 2 years before the actual year of them employing the said candidates. So if you're watching this video and you're still a student, I strongly and urge you to apply for your articles of clerkship right now, regardless of the fact that you're in first or second year. Just apply because it's not easy once you finish. The other thing I wish I had known is that if you don't have any family members or connections in the legal field, the journey is just going to be very difficult. So I wish I had known this earlier on so that I'd have created some of the connections or looked for mentors to help me through my journey, because it became so hard after I finished school to maneuver in this industry. The other thing I wish I had known is the very fact that lawyers are not necessarily rich. If anything, in your first years of practice, you will struggle financially like no man's business. I wish I had known this earlier on so that I would have saved, because most of the time what's very crucial in your legal career is the experience. Once you have the experience, it becomes much easier. So you really need to be financially free and financially stable to maneuver in this career properly and efficiently. So I wish I had known that very fact so that probably maybe I would have saved some money to help me through, because sometimes you really find a very good law firm that goes along with your personality and all your aspirations in the legal field, but they cannot afford to pay you what you think would help you through, but you really need the experience. So if you have the money, then it's quite easy because you'll be able to hold yourself down financially while you serve at that law firm with your money saved in your savings or somewhere. The other thing I wish I had known is the very fact that the legal industry is one competitive field, especially for women, because the fact is that it is still dominated by males. So for you to create and build your own name or brand, it becomes pretty hard, because even from clients, most of them, they believe that they get better legal advice from men compared to women. So you have to go extra miles to actually gain credibility and some confidence and popularity with clients. The other thing I wish I had known is the very fact that there is a lot of self-study in the legal field even after your degree. The very fact that not all cases are actually resolved in court, most of these cases you solve them on paper. So you do a lot of research, self-study. You just basically have to find ways of resolving issues without taking them to court. So that's another thing I wish I had known, is you don't take every case to court. Like, it's not wise most cases, because say the clients want to claim 2,000 rands, and going to court you probably need to pay the advocate about 6,000, and we're not even talking about the other legal fees. So not every case will be solved via court, and you really have to do a lot of self-study. The other thing I wish I had known and made peace with is the very fact that studying law was the easiest part of becoming a lawyer. Yes, I know that sounds like I'm over exaggerating, because the LLB is not a child's play. It's really tough, but guys, practicing law is even much more tougher. Sometimes you have to read cases about 100 and something pages just to look for that one paragraph to match whatever you're dealing with. And sometimes it doesn't even match with it. So you have to look for more cases to find a solution for whatever you're dealing with. So if you're still in university, make peace with the very fact that the part which you're doing right now is not even the hardest. There's more hard work to come. I also wish I had known the very fact that being a lawyer needs you to have a very strong backbone. You have to build a personality that will guide and guard you during your practice, because you will be in a situation where the client is so disrespectful, or they are just hard. You might be in a law firm where you experience some hard times with your colleagues. So basically, on practicing law, you need to have a very strong backbone. You have to have a strong personality. I also wish I had known that it's not going to be easy. I feel like I'm sounding repetitive right now, but maneuvering in the legal field is quite difficult, especially when you don't have family or friends who are lawyers already, because you need to figure out every other single thing on your own, and it's a lot of things to figure out in the legal field. I also wish that I had known that when you practice law, you tend to get attached to people's situations. When you're dealing with cases, you get emotionally invested, and it's pretty such a hard experience, specifically for me, because sometimes, let's say someone is going through a divorce, or someone has been abused, or something is happening, you tend to have your emotions invested. But I think that comes with a natural instinct of being a human being. But with time, I think it won't be as difficult as your first few years in the legal industry. But there's that part of the fact that you won't be as strong or as totally insensitive. You get emotionally invested, and it's not always easy. I also wish I had known that you don't immediately become financially stable in your first few years of practicing law. Yeah. Practicing law needs you to actually build a name or brand, for you to actually become a somebody in the field, for you to end up actually making lots of money. So don't expect to immediately make a lot of money in the first few years. It's just not it. You will make money years later, but not in the first. I also wish I had known that in as much as you're a lawyer, and most of the times what you're actually dealing with is helping people get their monies from certain opponents and stuff like that, I wish I had known that you could also struggle with clients not wanting to pay you. So guys, this is the only bad side of what I wish I had known. There's also the good, which is really good side of becoming a lawyer that I wish I had known. The first thing I wish I had known is the very fact that there are so many options for you as a lawyer that you could consider in your career. Had I known this in time, I wouldn't have gone through the mental breakdowns I've had to go through, moments where I felt like I need to quit this entire career because I just couldn't land a job. I also wish I'd known about this so that I never had to consider other different career journeys that I could have embarked on. I also wish I had known this because at some point I even questioned whether studying law was even a smart decision that I took. But the good thing is that now I know that there are a lot of options. I'm talking about more than 50 options that as lawyers you could consider to take on with your law degree. If you haven't watched my first ever video, please go on and listen to that video because I talk about the 15 plus options law graduates have in their legal career when they feel stuck. There are a lot of options we have as lawyers. The other thing that I wish I had known is the very fact that you can actually build an empire with your law degree. If you practice law, it's easier for you to create the type of connections that you know will help you in acquiring all the wealth that you want. Say you manage to lend yourself a client who is worth millions or billions. The fees that they are going to pay you are handsome. So when they refer another client, you will easily become rich. So I wish I had known that too. I also wish that I had known the very fact that it's very much possible for you to become a millionaire whilst you are a lawyer. Well, this goes hand in hand with the very fact that I spoke about having connections, having clients who are moneyed and stuff like that. That's something you can do as a lawyer to manage to get clients who can pay you handsomely. Say you are working for a company, you're representing them on a regular basis. That just makes your career much more easier. The other thing that I wish I had known is the fact that you can open your own practice. You can open your own practice whereby you can open a law firm or you can actually open your own legal consultancy firm, which will result in you building the clientele that serves you right. So if you want a clientele that will help you become the next richest person or make your first million, it's easy when you're running your own show, when you have your own practice, whether it's a law firm or it's a legal consultancy firm. Speaking of which, please watch out the link I put below and go register for your spot on the 4th of September. We will be hosting a webinar where we will be teaching and guiding you guys on how to open your own legal consultancy firm. On that webinar, we are also going to talk about how you can brand your own business as a legal consultancy firm owner. We will also talk about your compliance with the laws, your compliance with tax, especially SARS, how you can get money to get started and all the likes. Please do come to the webinar. It will make a huge difference and probably you will be the next person to talk about how you made your first million, which is actually our goal on these legal consultancy firms. The other thing I wish I had known is the very fact that you would make very impactful connections in the legal industry through the clients you meet. You can imagine if you're meeting doctors, estate agencies, nurses, all of the careers and what they do in life and in business. You get to learn a lot of other things that you can actually use to help you in building your own side hustles or your own businesses. The other thing I wish I had known is the fact that with becoming a lawyer, you're open to self-employment. You can employ yourself. You don't have to limit yourself to becoming an employee. You can actually become the employer like all of us dream of. So guys, I think for today, that's it from me to you. I hope you will be able to make your first million within the first 5 years of your practice, including the years where you sell articles, because it is very possible. So for those who are interested in branding their own businesses, please come join us at our webinar. It's open to everyone, even law firm owners or aspiring law firm owners. You are free to come, because we will deal with personal branding in order to shape the form of your business, so that you will be able to attract the right clients that will take you far. Because sometimes the mistake we do is in getting clients who really will be struggling to pay us, because most of the times some of us are here to make the bag. So please do come and join in. The link is below. Go register for your seat, and see you on the 4th of September. From me to you, it's a